with oneself. And if you do find the courage to say these words to yourself, honestly, in the privacy of your inner world, then you will rise up, not down, to meet sublime love. One day we all have to say to ourselves those words, or one similar, with honesty, not playing games. When we do, it is as if a part of ourselves that had been rejected, living outside in the cold for so long, has now come home. We feel unified, whole, and free to be happy. Only when we love ourselves in such a way can we know what it means to really love another, no more and no less. And please remember, you do not have to be perfect, without fault, to give yourself such love. If you wait for perfection, it never arrives. We must open the door of our heart to ourselves, whatever we have done. Once inside, then we are perfect. Author's note. This story has evolved from a combination of other sources, in particular the origin story to Dhammapada, verse 110, and the verses of the enlightened monk Adhimutta Thero in the Theragatha. People often ask me what happened to those 7 monks when the head monk told the bandits that he was unable to choose. The story, as I heard it many years ago, didn't say. It stopped where I have finished. But I know what happened next. I figured out what must have ensued. When the head monk explained to the bandits why he couldn't choose between himself and another, and described the meaning of love and forgiveness, as I have just done for you, then all the bandits were so impressed and inspired that not only did they let the monks live, but they became monks themselves. Marriage. Since I became a celibate monk, I have married many women. Part of my job as a Buddhist monk is to perform the religious part of Buddhist marriage ceremonies. According to my tradition of Buddhism, a lay Buddhist is the official marriage celebrant, but many of the couples regard me as the one who married them. So I have married many women, and many men as well. It is said that there are 3 rings to a marriage: the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffer ring. So trouble is to be expected. When there is trouble, the people I have married often come to talk to me. Being a monk who likes an easy life, I include in my marriage service the next 3 stories, intended to keep the 3 of us out of trouble for as long as possible. Commitment. My view of relationships and marriage is this. When the couple are going out, they are merely involved. When they become engaged, they are still only involved, maybe more deeply. When they publicly exchange marriage vows, that is commitment. The meaning of the marriage ceremony is the commitment. During a ceremony, to drive home the meaning in a way people usually remember for the rest of their lives, I explain that the difference between involvement and commitment is the same as the difference between bacon and eggs. At this point, the in-laws and friends start to pay attention. They begin to wonder, what has bacon and eggs got to do with marriage? I continue. With bacon and eggs, the chicken is only involved, but the pig is committed. Let this be a pig marriage. The chicken and the duck. This was a favourite story of my teacher, Ajahn of northeast Thailand. A newly married couple went for a walk together in a wood one fine summer's evening after dinner. They were having such a wonderful time being together until they heard a sound in the distance. Quack, quack. "Listen," said the wife. "That must be a chicken." No, that was a duck," said the husband. "No, I'm sure that was a chicken," she said. "Impossible. Chickens go cock-a-doodle-doo. Ducks go quack, quack. That's a duck, darling," he said with the first signs of irritation. "Quack, quack," it went again. "See? It's a duck," he said. "No, dear, that's a chicken. I'm positive," she asserted, digging in her heels. "Listen, wife, that is a duck. D-U-C-K, duck. Got it?" he said angrily. "But it's a chicken," she protested. "It's a blooming duck, you... and it went quack, quack again before he said something he oughtn't. The wife was almost in tears. "But it's a chicken!" The husband saw the tears welling up in his wife's eyes, and at last remembered why he had married her. His face softened, and he said gently, "Sorry, darling. I think you must be right. That is a chicken." "Thank you, darling," she said, and she squeezed his hand. Quack, quack, came the sound through the woods as they continued their walk together in love. The point of the story that the husband finally awakened to was, who cares whether it is a chicken or a duck? What was much more important was their harmony together, that they could enjoy their walk on such a fine summer's evening. How many marriages are broken over unimportant matters? How many divorces cite chicken or duck stuff? When we understand this story, we will remember our priorities. The marriage is more important than being right about whether it is a chicken or a duck. Anyway, how many times have we been absolutely, certainly, and positively convinced we are right, only to find out we were wrong later? Who knows? That could have been a genetically modified chicken made to sound like a duck. For the sake of gender equality and a peaceful life as a monk, each time I tell the story I usually switch around the one who says it's a chicken and the one who says it's a duck. Gratitude. After a wedding ceremony in Singapore a few years ago, the father of the bride took his new son-in-law aside to give him some advice on how to keep the marriage long and happy. "You probably love my daughter a lot," he said to the young man. "Oh, yes," the young man sighed. "And you probably